right, everybody, welcome back. Kathy Arbor here, and today is Watercolor Tuesday. And I thought I would do these spring flowers, snowdrops is what I call them. And they're not up in our area right now, but I know a lot of different slightly warmer areas. They are up and blooming probably. The UK usually has them up by now. So I thought this would be kind of cool to draw out and to watercolor for you. Sorry about last Thursday. We had a huge rainstorm and my sump pump gave up the ghost in the middle of the night. So you can only imagine. And then my son's dog got sick, and we're just finding out now that it's possibly tainted food from the store. So that's not good. So the vet did a drug analysis and found out she was just going out of opiates, some other one, what was it? Weed and one other. And there's no way we have anything like that in this house. So we're leaning towards it had to be the food. Because she eats a different type of food than my other two dogs. And that's the only thing that would have been. Yeah. She's okay now. She's finally okay. But she was in pretty bad shape for a little bit there. We were kind of scared. Luckily, the vet here is good, and we were able to get her in right away, and she gave her some stuff. And so we just found out like just a few minutes ago. So we're waiting for the vet to see if they can check the food itself, or we're not sure how to go about this, but we're waiting for that information. Yeah, you just never know. I have heard of that thing happening before. People, I don't know why they do it, but they taint the food. And like it's not the whole bag. It'll only be a few pieces in the bag, basically. And I just don't understand people why they would do that. But anyways, she's okay now, which is the main thing. So today I thought we would do this, and I will draw it out for you guys as well. Hi, Michelle. Rhonda, thanks. Yeah. People are, I'm losing hope. I'm losing hope on some people. Like, I don't know. Sad world when you have to hurt an animal. So I thought I would, I'm not necessarily gonna, well, I might, I don't know, do the background in this dark, but I could. Here's the other one. Just shows more black on the sides. So I thought I would just, no, I did say I wouldn't do a 2-page spread. As you can see, it's coming through the spine of this book. So I think what I'll do is probably do it on this side. Although this doesn't come through. This paper is funny. For it not to come through on this, but it does on the, must be that once the fibers are broken. Yes, the dog is doing okay. But yeah, it was pretty scary. So I'm going to just use a mechanical pencil here and probably just do maybe this area right here or there. I like this though, it shows little green marks. They do have really cute little green marks on their petals. So let's do this one here. So when I look at something, I keep in mind the size of it and where it's placed on the page. Yeah, the bag was sealed. And it was like halfway down. She was fine. Like it's not a brand new bag. It was halfway down the bag. So I don't know. You just don't know anymore. So I think they have, yeah, 3 petals, 3 long petals, and then they have this little, I'm not sure if it's a petal or a little cone inside. And it's kind of grass-like. So I like to do, when I'm drawing, I look to see where is the closest object in the picture. So it's this one here, and then everything else is behind it, basically. Yeah, it just bewilders me. I don't know. So this is about almost halfway down the page. So I'm looking at the shape of this. So it's almost a triangular shape. Now you could do something like this. So it's this shape. And this is how I like to look at things when I draw. So I'll put a triangle shape like this. And then the other shapes I'm seeing are ovals here and here, and kind of an oval here. So this oval up here is part of that triangle, the inside, and it's not quite halfway down. So it's about right there. So if we want to put an oval in here, we can put an oval there. And then the bigger oval will go, and it's fatter, like that. And then there's this oval. Now this oval crosses behind this, behind it. So we're going to put it in like that. So if you looked at it like that, hey Dot, good to see you. And then we have the stem that it grows on. It's usually hanging down. Most of these are always hanging down. And then there's this shaft that it comes out of. So again, when I'm looking at the shape, kind of comes down. It's like a blade of grass, almost like that. So it actually comes down into there. So that's our first one. Then there's one underneath it, so right in here. So you could do the same thing. So this is a little bit different shape, but if you want to, you could look at this in a teardrop shape, and it's going underneath here. So we could actually go like this. So there's the teardrop, and then there's that oval again of the top of the flower. And then we're looking at what's in front. So that's the biggest oval I see. It's this main flower. And then there's this one here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. And this one. And it kind of goes behind this one again. So I'm going to erase some of these lines here that were guides. So I can erase this now. We don't see that line behind this petal, so we can erase that. And notice now we can make this a little more fluid looking, a little softer looking. Hey, Mary, good to see you. We're doing some snowdrops. So I like to just I'm looking at the shape. So it connects to this upper part of that flower. So now I can take that off. And you can basically see the shape of the flower. It doesn't come to a point or anything. It's more defined now by the color. So we have a little bit of a green, and then it goes into a yellow, and then the white. Now I'm going to put in, see where the it's cupped, the petals. So just take a look at your whatever reference you're going to be using. There's millions of these different types. Let me know if you want this particular reference, and I will put it up for you on the community page for you to use. Okay, so there's that. Now you can put in as many as you want. And here's the other one. It has this little, I can't really see if it's cupped or it's separate petals also. Dot, you have these. Are they cupped inside? Is it like a cup where the little green markings are? Or are they all separate petals also, like the 3 separate petals on the outside edge? Hey, Kim. Yeah, they're snowdrops. Now this is a little bit longer, so I'm going to shorten that. And you can't really see the stem off of that one, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so let's see. Are those going to be the main ones? I think I really like this one here because it does, it's not as defined, but I'm going to take this one and put it over here. So again, I'm looking at the shape. So basically another wide triangle. So let's put this one up here. So I'm going to do the bottom first. I'm going to put it right here and about this size. So we have our top part. Hey, Janet. And then we have our now this one looks like more like that. And this one you can see that little skirt or whatever it is. It's kind of scalloped. And it's got that little green marking in it. And then the other one is behind it. So the other long petal is behind it. And then I'll just erase any unwanted marks. Okay, so this here can be erased. That's where it joins that one spot of green. That. And I'm just going to put that big piece of almost looks like grass. I'm just going to play with the grass look. That. So that one there. And then we have all our grass and looks like moss on the bottom. So like I said, just pick out the ones you want. You don't have to do them all. I don't think I really need to put in the grass. You can if you want, if you find it more easier for you. But the grass can be put in fairly easily with a paintbrush. This one here, let's do that, I guess. That one, okay, we don't see anything on that one. Okay, so how am I going to go about doing white? So I haven't decided what I want to do as far as the background. I could just do the flowers. But if you notice, the white isn't white. It's almost a bluish purple. So look at your shadowed areas. Think about those first. This one especially is fairly shadowed. You see the kind of a purpley color. I think we're going to do this in wet into wet. So I want to keep it fairly soft looking. And we can always use white Posca or poster paint, gouache, whatever you have. Okay, so I have my paint palette here. And we'll put it up like that. And let's get a medium size, I guess. So this is a number 8. This is the silver black velvet. A fairly economical paintbrush if you're getting into watercolor. It's not too badly priced, and they work great. All right, so this one here, I'm just going to put some water on there. Now this book is not watercolor paper, but that's okay. And I'm going to mix a little bit of this pink here, and this one is Rose Lake, it's called. And then I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it. And I think I'm going to add cobalt blue. And we're going to purple it down. I'm going to add, get a fair amount made up. A little bit more red. A little more blue. I want it more on the grayish, purpley blue side. So you kind of have to play with the color a little bit, but the nice thing about watercolors is you can always use your leftovers on something else. Now, if you find it's too blue or too gray or too purple, if you want it more of a grade down, you can also add the opposite, which is a bit of orange. And that'll gray your color down. Now I just added a bit too much there. Okay. So it's still wet, and the one side is fairly shaded. I don't see too much white. It's more shaded. This side has got a little bit less on the right side of the petal. So I'm going to basically just do the left side with this color and leave that other side a little bit lighter. And just look at your reference. Now the if you notice, it's more of a yellowy color in here. It's not white, it's more a soft greeny yellow. So a cool yellow if you have it. Let's see. We could use I have the cad yellow right here. It's fairly cool looking, and I want to add quite a bit of water to it. And this can go around. I'm not worried about it going into the other side. And a little bit on the top even. In this area is a little bit. So I'm just going to dab some of that in there. Now I do need to make some green because there's not really in this palette, there's not a real green. There's a very soft green, but it's not what I want. I want a really bright citron basically green. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue to that yellow. It seems about right. And we'll just, this is wet into dry. I'm just putting a base coat on. And I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to it. So the stem is a little bit more on the yellow side. But it's still green, but not quite. And this part of the, where the flower came out of, it's fairly light too. We can darken it with a bit of darker green later. And we'll just add a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to this. And I'm just going to dab in the center here. Too wet. Just going to take that out there. This one here kind of has a really soft yellow around the base. It almost goes into a yellowy color underneath in that cupped area of the flower. It's more on a yellowy side, but we'll add some other colors to it. And this one here, it's got a lot of yellow on the inside also. And this one here, just along. Like that. And then some of that gray again. So I'm looking at this one here, which is this one. So it's got some gray along the sides of it. And I'm just using wet into dry. And I'm just going to add a little bit on the cupped inside area also. But I still want some of that yellow to show. And this is wet while I'm doing this. So it's a little more grayed in right at the top part of the flower and close to the body. And this part here is pretty grayed. Like that. This one's pretty white. I think I could put a little bit in here though. So what I'm going to do, it may not look like much color that's going on, but it does make a difference. And I'll just, I don't want a hard line though. This one here, it's got a little bit of that yellow in there. And then the grayish tone on the inside too. So let's make a little bit more of the gray. Just a little bit of orange in there. Right on the inside part. right in here. It's kind of grayed in. And the side of the bigger leaf or petal is also kind of grayed. I don't want to soften that though. So with some clean water, you can soften it. Hey Jen, good to see you. Alrighty, and then green. Let's make a bit more green up here. And I'm going to add a little bit of brown to that just to darken it. Turn it more into on the olive side of things. If I can. Just a little different. And I'm going to do the tops of these with that color. Still fairly light, but best to start light than go in really dark. I think I'll do this one here again. And this one. And then the leaf, or whatever it is. That area where the flower comes out. Protected. And this is going to be green in here. And a little more green in here. They're very, very delicate looking. Let's see, maybe some umber with that. And I'm just gonna throw in some leaves. And we'll get some different colors too, because you don't want them all the same. So you can just add some raw umber to your mix, and that'll darken it. Okay, and then right in here, just dab some of these colors in. This is wet. Let's try this new, what is it called? Green Earth. It's a very odd color. Don't know if I like it or not. Came with the palette. It's very, very pale. Let's see. I'm going to make a little bit more of that darker green by adding the yellow and the blue. Okay. Very, very soft. Okay, let's dry that up. So how's everybody doing? Yep. I hope you feel better. Just stay positive if you can. Take your mind off of it. Thanks, Mary. We got to darken it up now. So let's put in some shadows. Let's make some more of this up, a little darker, and see what color we can make up here. So you want to add some shadows. So these are rounded, so you're going to want to put it on the left side, is what this is showing. So it's a little thicker on one side than the other, but there is a bit of dark on the other side also, but not as wide a strip. Just put some of that there. And you take your wet brush, clean wet brush, and just take that hard, stiff line off. You can keep adding to it. As long as it's wet, you should be able to play with it a little bit. Don't do too much or you'll muddy it up though. This one under here is kind of dark because it's shadowed by the flower above. So I'm going to add the whole thing in this darker color. And these markings on them is fairly dark too. So we'll add some more to that. Maybe a little more in there. And a bit more on the stem. This one's kind of hard to see, but it doesn't have to be perfect. This is experimenting, basically. Having fun with your paint in your journal, just to see how things work. That's what I like to do. More in there. Maybe a few more in here, a little more pronounced. Might add some colored pencil too. I like using colored pencil. Hey, Devin. Now, what should we do about the background? Now, I could do some reverse painting. What colors do I have? I could do it in a ivory black or neutral tint. It's just experimenting, so let's see what we can do. So I'm going to pretty well do it in wet into wet, I think. So I'm just going to wet the area that I want to play in. And I'm going to make some neutral tint. Maybe I'll just throw it in here. You could add a little bit of blue to it if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it. Okay. And then I'm just going to tap it in. And it'll only go where your water was. So I'm just going to play with this a little bit. Try and stay away from some of these lines I have already down for the leaves. So maybe it'll be darker around in the center area. That could be. So the petals show more. This is a good way of learning negative painting too, if you want to put in some more blurred out areas or leaves behind here. Just experiment and have some fun with it. Make some areas darker if you want. Good practice for using the tip of your brush too. It's very meditative. Kind of hard to talk and paint at the same time though. Just saying. You almost have to hold your breath. Okay, I want that soft along the edge. I think I'll just concentrate on the inside here for most of the dark, and then just do a lighter wash around the other parts. Fun to do, though. I like negative painting. You could use a smaller brush if you so want, but I like challenging myself. I don't want it to look too tight. Meaning everything is very distinct and detailed and nothing's blurred out. Yeah, it's a nice soft contrast, Mary. You could mix up your own black too. You don't have to buy black. If you mix your three colors together, your blue and red and yellow, play with those three colors, you should be able to get a fairly decent dark blue, or well, almost a black. A little more on there. Very, very pigmented, these watercolors. Don't need much. Yeah, I like that. You just wet your brush and take out those lines that are a little bit hard looking. Now this is from Unsplash, I think. If you want, I can put it up on the community page for you when I'm done. It's either Unsplashed or Pixabay, I think it's called. One or the other, I can't remember. But if you want to use this, I'll put it on the community page for you. They are royalty free to use. I'm going to put a little green in here to mix it up. So I'm getting closer to the bottom area where there'd be more grass and stuff. You can add a little bit more green to that black mix. It'll still be dark, but it'll have just a slight green hue to it. Still works. Just gives it a little extra detail. So this is more negative painting, I guess. So you can add more shadowed areas so it looks like there's more grass or whatever in there. A little more complicated looking underneath there. It looks neat, and you don't have to do a whole lot when you're doing negative painting in this way. Just have fun with it. This is how you learn. I can go in with colored pencil after if I want to. Or gouache. You could use gouache. A little more dark in here. Guess we could make a few strands. You could go in with gouache if you don't want to work around these leaves. You could go in with gouache afterwards. I could put some of that in too, show you how it works. And you don't have to have the exact color in gouache either. I like to just mix my own color. So I'll use the color that's on my palette with white gouache, basically. Hey, Xandra. Aw. Well, at least you're getting a little better. I'm just putting a few dark areas in here where there's probably some grass, deep shadows in there somewhere. I'm just kind of making it up, really. Just have fun. Do you have someone to bring you ice V? Must have missed something. Did you have surgery, Xandra? On your hand? Or is it just things acting up again? A little lighter in here. And let's see, put some water in here and bigger area, so I'll just drop in some of that color in here in the wet. Oh, yeah, I know. Mine has been acting up too. Surprisingly in my jaw. Not fun. Just happened to start up this week in my jaw. Yeah. Good thing I'm not a real big talker. Or I'd be in trouble. So in the center here, a little bit between the leaf. Just around this leaf here. I'm not going to go too far up. Some of this. I'll wet this up. Yeah. Strangest feeling though. I've never had it this way in the jaw. Just one side too. It's weird. It seems to subside after I eat something. It's not as sore. But when first thing in the morning, ooh, your jaw is misaligned because it's swollen. Not fun. Yeah, you could. Yeah, gotta think of the good things, I guess. Yeah, that's one good way of looking at it, Sandra. Could lose some weight. Under there a little bit. Maybe you are grinding your teeth at night. Your dentist could make you. No, it's if I It's weird because if your jaw is open at night, it seems worse. Because it's, I don't know, it seems to feel better if I clench my teeth in the morning. I don't know what it is. It's strange. Yeah, I thought about that too. But no, I don't think it's that. I've had that before, and it's not the same. It's not the same pain. It's different. I don't know. It's just part of getting old, I guess, for me. I think I'll put a little bit with green in the bottom here. Okay. And maybe a little bit more in here. I don't like this one area in here bugging me. A little bit around this here. A little darker in there. Could put some salt on it too if you wanted to. I'm a baby. I don't feel like it hot. I'm gonna dry this up a bit. Bye, Devin. Thanks for popping in. Thanks, Mary. All right, so I think I'm going to add just a little bit more bluish color to some of these shadowed areas on the petals. Just looking at this, looks, you can see a little bit more blue, and I like that. So I'm going to add that cobalt blue. And just a tad, just a smidgen of and just gonna a little bit more on these. Let's see, it was on the bottom here. And this one here is more or less bluey. And I'm going to put a little bit in here too. There. Down here. Remember, these are cupped. This here. bring it out a little bit more. And maybe a little bit in here. Soften it. All right, try that again. All right, now let's see what else we can do. Do have some of this, or do I use colored pencils? Which should we do? Put some highlights on these here. That one's covered. That. Do you want me to take you guys in further so you can see what I'm doing? So we'll just do some. We're done with the watercolor for now, so we'll just play with a little bit of water or colored pencil here. So we can add some highlights too over top of this if you want, either with the colored pencil, or if you want you could use gouache. Because I know that this is a cupped flower, the light's going to hit the very tops here. This one's not showing a whole lot. We could improvise anyways. Let's put a little bit over here on the tops, just a smidge to lighten that one area up. That. And maybe just around the bottom part might be glowing a little bit from the outer edge. And that is supposed to be part of the skirt thing. But actually, missed a little bit. It should be a little darker in here. Let's see. Yeah, right in here. Like that. Okay. Tips were white in here. Let's get a green. This one is moss green. Perfect. Let's see how it works. Yeah, it's a little darker, so that's good. So we'll just add a little bit of depth to that. And a little bit in here. It's a little bit darker along the edge and around the other side. Very, very light touch. I'm hardly pressing at all. It's be darker in here. The stem is down one side from being shadowed. And I have kind of lines in this part of the leaf or whatever it is. A little bit dark in here. And kind of a bluey green. A little bit in there. It's an odd shade. This is fairly dark in here. I could actually color this in real dark because it's shadowed, so you're not really seeing any definition. So I'll do it mostly dark, but I'll leave a little bit. Let's see. Yellow. Not really a dark yellow. Let's try this one. It's about the same. It's not bad. Just up in the top part where the petals meet that green part. It's a little more on the yellowy side. And the skirt underneath. And this one is a little more yellow. That. A little yellow in here. A bit going down here into the petal. I don't know if you're seeing much of a difference, but more green and yellow in here. Bit of a shadow. Some of these lines can be fixed up. The smoother edge. Depends how much you want to play with it, really. use different greens too. A little lighter, a little darker, not completely different though. Like don't use like a Kelly green with a blue green or something. Just play. Some of these can cross each other, some are over top of each other. You just kind of have to look at it a little bit so it doesn't totally make it's not making sense to you, but find the ones that are crossing over, and then whatever's behind it you can put in. There's something a work of art does. Yeah, that's true, Mary. I used to say that to my students when I did stained glass, when they would get upset because their lines when cutting weren't exactly straight, or I said, do you want it to look machine made or handmade? Basically is what it comes down to, because if you want it so perfect that you can't tell it was handmade, then what's the point? I like using colored pencil in my work. I don't know, just or pen, one or the other. Just seems to add a little more contrast, I guess you could say. That's what I see. And just take your time. There's no deadline. This is for your enjoyment, to de-stress, and just have a relaxing afternoon arting. So enjoy what you're doing. That's one of the most important things. It is for me anyways. Don't stress about getting things done, especially when you're working in a journal. Because when you start doing that, it's no longer fun. That's why a lot of times having a business in the arts can be very crippling as far as your creativity, because it becomes a stress factor in time, and you're not really doing what you wanted to create. You're doing what the masses want, which can be totally different. So enjoy what you are doing in your spare time of your journals or your art sketchbooks, or just have fun with it and relax and experiment. And if you have a commission, then yeah, that's totally different. But this type of work is when you improve your skills, I find, because you're free to do what you want. You're experimenting. You just play. It's almost like doodling, this type of work. You're making up different marks to make another mark look like it's going through. Or negative painting is very interesting to me. You can also emphasize areas that you want your eye to travel to. So give it a try. It's worth it. You learn a lot. And don't try and get it done all at once. Just enjoy what you're doing. Sit back, take a look at it, put it on an easel or lean it against something and take a cup of coffee and sit back and look at it. That's what I do. Then I assess it. What does it need? Is there something missing? It's usually, can I make more of a contrast? Is there more detail that I could do? Is it too tight looking? And these are how you learn. Or if it's not calling to you, you look at it and you say, okay, why is it not calling to me? What does it need? And usually if you're at that point and you're not sure, like I said, stand it up somewhere. Don't look at it for a while and then come back to it and take another look. And usually it will jump out at you what needs to be done. I think you came creeping around my garden in the night to get that photo. I wish. I wish, Dot. I would love to go to your garden and go to the UK, to all those fantastic castles with their beautiful gardens, and that would be a dream come true. I always watch the what's that guy? I can't think of his name now. the British gardener that's got the TV series. Gardening World, is it called? I love watching that. I think, oh, I would love to be there. Everything's so lush and beautiful. So I'm concentrating on a little bit more contrast down in these little bits and pieces here, because I know this would be fairly dark as far as shadows in between here and there in the grasses. Now I could put some highlights in here too on certain bits of the grass, which I might do. Clean up some of these edges with a little bit of this. Some of them are kind of ragged looking. Now I could take a paintbrush, smaller paintbrush, and fix those up too. Yeah, all the beautiful flowering bushes, and it's so gorgeous. The magnolia trees. Like, I couldn't believe some of those magnolia trees on some of those estate areas, or I don't know what you guys call them, but that are like, a couple 300 years old. And the flower is as big as my head type of thing. Like, oh my goodness. You've been having a tough winter, Mary? We've had actually a fairly mild winter this year, which is odd for us. But I'm not complaining. But you kind of do get a little leery. Well, what's the spring gonna be like? Because you really don't want to have the cold weather hit when all the trees are starting to come up alive. That could really kill a lot of trees. But not much you can do about it. You just have to grin and bear it. Whatever comes, comes. Yeah, I'm going to put just some darker. There's some actually, looks like moss. So we'll put some squiggly lines in here with this pencil. some. Maybe a little bit of brown. Yeah. Let's see, what else can we do here? Maybe a little bit of this yellow in the. That and a little bit of white. Let's see, maybe Posca. Oh, you've been getting a mild winter too. Yeah. Strange weather all around the world, basically. Just a little bit along the edge here. And right there. Little marks. Just a few. Like that. Always think in contrast. Southeast getting all the storms. Yeah, there's some real dandy storms coming up. We have rain today. Maybe freezing rain. They're not sure. But hopefully we don't get it, but you never know. But, you know, here in my neck of the woods, you have to be prepared for that pretty well all year for power going out and that type. So, you know, a lot of people have generators. I've got a generator just in case. A bit dark in there. Just give that a little bit more of a pop. Darker in there. All right, I think that's done as far as I can tell. I could put a little bit more purple in maybe, or blue. Let's see. Purpley blue. That might work. Just a smidgen of that. Blue color. Shaded blue color. I like it. Here. Time to spit the coffee. You're funny, Dot. All right, I think I'm done. Sign it. Today is the 22nd. 2222. You could put, some people like writing stuff. Once in a while, I'll do that, but I just use that for there. But this is going to be kind of an everything book. So next week, what's next week? No, week after, I guess, we'll do the February illuminated letter. So hope you enjoyed it. I think it turned out pretty cool. Not much to it, and I will put the this up for you on the community page. So if you want to check back in about an hour, and I will put that. I was awake at 2:22 a.m. today, so it was. Oh my gosh, that must got to be a sign, guys. I don't know if anyone believes in numerology, but so many times I'll go look at the clock or wake up at a certain time and it's double digits. Now, there's supposed to be a meaning towards that, but I don't know what it is. Well, thanks, Mary and Zandra, Rhonda, Dot, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic day today and everything was good for you. And hopefully I'll be here on Thursday. Sorry about last week. But yeah, my sump pump failed on me. Don't need to say anything else. This Saturday, I will have a video for the budding artists up, and this Saturday also at 1:00, I will have a live stream for blooming artists, Jen and Dot. If you're not too busy, I will post the link in the community page for you to join me, and we'll be working on the accordion journal. All right, so we'll see you then, and have a fantastic and safe day and the rest of the week, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for coming, everyone. Bye for now.